President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to engage with young men and boys in particular on combating gender-based violence and femicide. The engagement takes place at Maponya Mall this morning. This is in Soweto, which forms part of the presidential Young Men and Boys Indaba. Our reporter Juniour Khumalo is in Soweto ahead of that engagement. Juniour, good morning to you. The president has declared gender-based violence and femicide the #1 pandemic in the country, and I suppose this is the reason why he's chosen to attend this engagement. What do you think are going to be the key topics of discussion there?
Good morning, Toli. Indeed, the president has said that gender-based violence is a serious pandemic affecting our country today. Just to give you some background, about 2 weeks ago, the police minister, released the crime stats, and about 855 women and 243 young children were murdered in South Africa in the second quarter of the year. So that is a very high number. South Africa has been defined as the rape capital of the world. It has been described as the murder capital of the world as well. So we are expecting the president to engage young men and boys in particular. We expect about 11 schools to be here today, and all of those students are going to speak to the president. Right now they are walking into a movie theater where they're going to be watching a gender-based violence movie that is going to be teaching them about how to conduct themselves, in particular as young men in a country that is struggling with this scourge. But with us right now we have Linko Botman, who is the Director of Social Cohesion and Equity in the Department of Basic Education, just to tell us about what today's engagement is going to be about. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today. What is the purpose of this engagement with these young people?
So for the last couple of decades as government, we've focused very much on adolescent girls and young women. And we have now discovered that we have left boys behind in the interventions for social programming, in basic education in particular. And boys not only are allies of the prevention of school-related gender-based violence, but they also present with their own vulnerabilities that need to be addressed. And so today the president is going to kick us off so that as a country we continue on a conversation as a concerted and a collaborative intersectoral space for us to be able to deal with issues of young men and boys.
How many schools are going to be taking part today, and how was the selection criteria for the schools that are taking part?
So we've gone through a great scan of schools in Gauteng, because we are holding the event in Gauteng. But we then had to identify schools, for example, that have got a multiracial spread of young people, because we want to help the country understand that issues of toxic masculinity, for example, and harmful gender norms are not just issues of a particular race of boys, but it runs across all races, across all religions, and across all cultures. But we're also driving an agenda of inclusive masculinities, because when we talk about young men and boys, we also have to be mindful of the fact that there are boys that present or that come with diverse sexual and gender identities. So we've had to look at all of those variables to select the 11 schools that are participating today.
The Minister of Basic Education is also joining us. Will she be also engaging these young students?
Minister has been engaging with young boys over the last couple of years already, since 2017, and she's been doing a series of community engagements where young boys will be engaging with her in an intimate corner, and sometimes in a very big community engagement with traditional leaders and leaders in the religious fraternity. And so today is really just a culmination of all of those engagements. Minister is now giving space to the president to lead the nation in these conversations.
Is this program going to be taken to other provinces besides Gauteng?
Yes, it will be. Already, the Global Fund Adolescence and Youth Program has included this program as part of what we need to do in terms of including issues of young men and boys into the space. And also in terms of our own HIV and AIDS life skills program, we have highlighted the importance of dealing with young men and boys. So all provinces are going to be participating in this program.
Thank you so much. That is Linko Botman. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. He is just talking about how the president today the president and the Minister of Basic Education are going to be engaging young boys and young men from about 11 schools in Gauteng at Maponya Mall about the prevention and combating of gender-based violence and femicide. We've seen the Police Minister Begitele releasing statistics that are very shocking about 855 women and 240 young children being murdered over the last quarter of this year.
Juniour Khumalo, thank you very much. And on that very note, where he quotes the crime statistics, particularly targeted at women and children, those are not flattering at all.